Well, hello there. Melcord Games come at you with a bit of a tutorial today on, well, not tutorial advice, really, on how to be innovative in Yu-Gi-Oh! With archetypes or, whatever kind of card set, you want to play with. Uh, so I'm going to feature a Nordic deck and some ideas that I threw in with Nordics. It does not play the Nordic gods, but it does feature Nordic cards and a Nordic engine that actually works well because there is tech that works well with the set. Because I was looking through uh, cards and tech and everything, and I saw these cards, and I was like, okay, well, this can work. Let's see what all is possible. So when you're making a deck, you want to build a deck that has synergy, that has power, that works well together, and can play fairly well with each other. Now, in this instance, I chose Nordics because Nordics does have quite a bit of synergy and can actually be played very diversely among other card effects. So, I was looking at the fact that Gelself is a spellcaster, and I recently did get into playing spellcasters, which can feature cards like Gigabyte that can special summon itself if you control spellcaster type monsters. And I thought, well, that's pretty nice. And it's a reptile. So you can feature XYZ cards such as King of the Fur Imp and search this out of your deck to give you speed and pluses that can help you go positive. Now, Jealous Self, when you normal summon it, target a face-up monster you control, except this card. Special summon a Nordic monster from your hand with a level less than or equal to that face-up monster's level. I wanted to go with the tuner, so I chose Goldfax. And Goldfax and Gelself is searchable via Gleipnir, the Fetters of Fenrir. So you have searchability, you have playability. Searchability to get into this, to make all the rest of your plays come true with this, if you already have this or if you have these in hand. Now, I thought, what else works well with spellcasters? Nefarious Archfiend Eater. It can special summon itself if you control a spellcaster monster. But this guy doesn't doesn't just have synergy with spellcasters. He has synergy with this. Because if it's destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon one monster with 1500 attack and 200 defense, which Nefarious Archfiend Eater actually can do. It actually can summon it because it has 1500 attack, 200 defense. So this works with this and with this. And this also has synergy with this. This is a beast monster. We feature this card. Ayers Rock Sunrise. Target a beast type monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. And if you do, all face up monsters your opponent controls, currently controls, lose 200 attack for each beast, plant, and wing type, a winged beast type monster in your graveyard until the end of the turn. This card is really good because you could summon back Archfiend Eater, you could summon back Goldfax. So you have synergy there with being able to summon both of these, and if these are in the graveyard at the time of this, well, their opponent's going to take a large, massive attack drop, which would make these other monsters of yours actually able to attack over them. Now, I was thinking, well, why have this if I don't have any other spellcasters? So I thought of Star Drawing. It's a spellcaster. It can summon this and this if you control this, since it's a spellcaster, so you have synergy with these two. Now, not only with that, if it's used to XC summon, you get to draw a card. So it allows you to make pluses. And pluses are always good. Now I thought of what else could help me, make quick synchros. And I thought about, well, what's a warrior that can special summon? Goblinberg. You have reinforcement of the army. Search into that, spam, make this, go plus. A lot of decks these days actually like to use things that can power up monsters sometimes. Like Performapals are a good example of doing so. So we feature Ragna Zero. And this deck with Ayers Rock Sunrise changes their attack. Therefore, Ragna Zero can have an effect in play. So that can allow you to destroy their card and go plus again. So every deck really needs to have synergy. And it's all about figuring out what cards work, what engine works, and what cards you can run with what engine to go plus off. Now, Supply Squad. When this guy's in your graveyard during the end phase of your opponent's turn, you can destroy a card you control and summon this. So let's say you have Gigabyte. You have Supply Squads in the field. Let's say you have 2 of them. You have this engrave. This, target, pop. Gigabyte goes off. Summon one of these from your deck. Go +2 of Supply Squad. So really, you're going +3 during your opponent's end phase. And as well as if you have one of these, flip this in chain, search out one of these or one of these. Then summon off this, draw from these. So much playability involved in this deck. And back row really can hurt decks like this. It is a very sacky deck, and back row really can hurt you. But at the same time, if you have enough draw power and you have enough synergy, back row doesn't tend to be too big of a problem, but in a lot of instances, it still can be. So we still play 3 MSTs and 2 Night Beam. Now, with any deck, you want to find the tech that works well with the deck. You want to keep the deck innovative, you want to keep the deck strong, and you want to keep the deck in a manner that you're going to be able to play the max effectiveness of the deck. And this deck can keep maximum effectiveness, search power, draw power, destruction power, summon power. This deck features a lot of that. That's why this deck is very innovative. And I love this deck due to the things that you can do with it. You can make tons of level 8 synchros, and you can make tons of rank 4 XCs. Now, since Gigabyte is OCG, this deck really wouldn't be a TCG tournament deck. Otherwise, I would actually build this in real life and play this deck in real life because I do much so enjoy this. But we also feature Diamond Crab King due to the fact that this is OCG and we have OCG cards. Why not play a good OCG monster such as Diamond Crab King? Because this card is really overpowered. It's a good offense and a very good. Notice though that I don't really feature any negation because this deck really doesn't care what your opponent does, because you can just make something that can get over that. You can just get over it with monster power. We don't even have Raigeki. But honestly, in my opinion, you don't really need Raigeki when you're playing with a deck that just does derpy things like these. Could bump, 101s out, stuff like that. But in reality, this deck is really good, really powerful, really strong. Now, you want to be innovative with your decks. Find key strategies that work with the point of your deck. I'm not saying don't go on YouTube and find decks, because I'm not saying that at all. But if you really want to be more successful with your decks, try building something innovative. Build something that has synergy. Like this deck, for example. Fableds and Shadows. Ashen Veil. If it attacks, send a card from your hand to the graveyard. Once per battle. So, this allows you to send these guys to the graveyard. After these go off and do their thing, these guys will then resolve off. Fabled Raven, just discard. Fabled Cherubel, it's whatever. They all do their own particular part in the deck that makes the deck have synergy. Wonder Wand, They're all spellcasters, get them all to the grave, get their effects off, go +2. Decks that have synergy are so good. Let's see. What's another deck that I have that's random and innovative? Melodious, for example. It's a fairy type deck. There's a lot of innovative tech that work for fairies. They're a fairy set. They have potential. They have a lot of ways that they can work, and they can synergize with other cards. And when you're building a deck, you just want that perfect synergy. Like, let's see. What else do I have that has synergy? Oh yeah, like this. Umbrals. They have 0 defense, so you can play things like Masked Chameleon and Drew. And decks that are synergized are better because you always have more options. Whether it's a weird Gears deck like this. I mean, there's a lot of tech choices that you can make in any deck, and when you're building a deck, you just want to make something innovative. Now, I am actually going to go through, and here on this website here, YugiOhCardGuide.com, they have a list of the archetypes. My next archetype I'm going to build, Alley of Justice. Well, if you know anything about Alley of Justice, they are all machines. So you have machine synergy. They also feature a lot of dark monsters. So you could feature putting in light monsters as tech and make a chaos deck. But these all really have effects that work well against light monsters and light decks. And that really can give the deck more options and more playability. So you can play, what is it, not DNA surgery. What is the card that I'm thinking of? Is it DNA? No, not DNA. That's type. This one right here, DNA transplant. Make them all light monsters. And then suddenly, you can do dirty shit. What the hell is this? Dawnbreak Gardener. Huh. But there's plenty of cards out there. So, just find that applies in the deck to a style that you like to play, and you'll be able to make whatever the hell kind of deck you want. There's just so much, there's so much options that this deck has. It's crazy. There's some crazy tech that can be featured in a lot of decks. So when you're deck building, just make sure to feature cards that work well with the deck, that provide you the most positive outcome in your duel, that's going to win you the duel and help you smash your opponents and wreck them. So hopefully this little bit of advice helped you when deck building. There's a lot that you can do. There's a lot that can be made with decks, and if you just follow along with these tips, you can make any deck successful, whether it be light sworns, whether it be synchrons. There's just so much shit that could be played with so many cards and so much tech. that really anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! These days now is possible. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. This has been Meckler Games, and remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.